Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me. So today I'm talking about something different. Today we're talking about life after college. So this personally affects me because I had a rough road after my graduation from college. I had a rough few months before I got myself together. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about their struggles after college. We either see people who right after college succeeded and went into a job in their field, or we don't really hear much about other people. There are struggles. Life after college is very real. I can vouch for that. It's very real. And sometimes it's nice to hear other people's stories so you weren't the only one who is going through it or who went through it. So I'm just here to tell my piece of my story, and maybe it will help somebody. Maybe somebody will be like, yep, me too. And, I'm just here to give you guys a piece of my pie. And so if you're interested in hearing about my personal story of life after college, stay tuned. So just to give you a little background, I attended Delaware State University, which is in Dover, Delaware. It's an HBCU, and I studied business marketing. So upon graduating, well, let me start. Before graduating, as a student, you've been in school for 4 years. College is hard. Like, college is difficult. It just depends on, you have to balance. You have to balance, and that makes things easier. But it is difficult. There are difficult classes, and, so it just depends. But before graduation, you're super excited to graduate. You're ready. You're like, I'm ready for the real world. I'm ready to take care of myself and live life like it's golden. And it does not always work out like that. It doesn't. That is a great mindset to have. You're preparing yourself for excellence and a great future. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way. And it's okay. It's normal. It happens. And so after graduating, I had my fun. Like, for about 2 months, I was just ripping and running. Like, I was back and forth from Delaware to Maryland to see my boyfriend all the time. And after a while, it slowed down. And, everybody was starting their full-time jobs at that time. And I was getting lonely. Like, everybody had to go to work. And I'm like, so what do I do? What do I do? Get a job. That's what you're supposed to do. And unfortunately, I didn't prepare myself for life after college when I was in college. I didn't intern. I think internships are a great thing, which I wish I would have done. I wasn't in any internships. I knew people, but I didn't network effectively, which would prepare me or which would maybe grant me opportunities. Networking is essential, and it sometimes affords you opportunities that you wouldn't have gotten if you didn't meet that person. So unfortunately, those are things that I didn't do when I was in college. Therefore, after college, I wasn't in a predicament to have an opportunity awaiting me. So after college, after ripping and running for about 2 months, I then was like, okay, you need to really start applying for jobs and, try to get something so you can have your own. At that point, I'm just thinking you need a job. Like, you're grown, you're out of college. Everybody else has a job. You need a job. Like, what are you doing? So I began applying to jobs. And when I say applying to jobs, I wasn't doing it. I wasn't on it. I wasn't applying for any and every job. I was applying for like a job a day, 10 jobs every 2 weeks. And that is not good. That 10 jobs is nothing. You have to apply for so many jobs in order to even get a call back sometimes. So, I was slacking. That's a great word to say. I was slacking. And I wasn't hearing anything back for a long time. It was about, after college, I would say it was about 4 to 5 months until I got a job. So about 3 months in, I was just over everything. I was like, I'm not hearing anything back. Like, why isn't anybody calling me back from these applications? I went to college. Like, I went to college for what? I thought that when you go to college, it's easier to get a job. That's what I'm thinking at the time. And so I kind of fell into a depression because I'm like, I'm not hearing anything back. What am I doing wrong? Like, I'm putting my application out there. I went to college and I just graduate. Like, I'm fresh meat. Pick me up. And nobody was calling me back. And so I struggle with that because I'm like, why don't people want me? Like, is there something that I'm lacking? Although I'm lacking experience, I didn't have any internships in college. But my thing is, like, I just graduated from college. Like, at least give me a chance, give me the opportunity to show you what I can do. But it doesn't work like that all the time. So I fell into a depression, and I wasn't even I didn't have an urge to apply for jobs. I didn't even want to get out of my bed. I was in my room in the dark all the time, in a slump. Depression makes you upset. It makes you mad. It's just so many emotions that you're feeling. And it's reasons why you're feeling it. But it's not good to stay in that slump because then it's hard to come out of it. And I had to tell myself, Brittany, God will grant you what you need. He will give you what you need. You have to be patient, and this is just a test. This is a test to see how strong you are when you're in your, most lowest moments. And I just had to realize that I was really slacking. I had to keep applying for jobs. I was depressed, and I was just like, forget it. And I can't do that. I can't say forget it because at the end of the day, I still need a job. And so I wound up finding out about an open interview that was going on. I got a call this one morning, and I was told that there was an open interview and that I should go. The job was not in my field. It was nothing that I even considered doing, but I needed a job, and that was an opportunity for me. So coincidentally, my sister was off of work that day. I didn't drive at that time. Yes, I didn't drive after college. I was 21 without a license. But so my sister coincidentally was off that day. She came over the house, and she was there when I got that call. So she had drove me to the interview, which actually she didn't agree with me going because she was like, if this isn't in your field and this is not something you want to do, then I feel like you're wasting your time going because you don't want to get in a job and be comfortable and then you're stuck and you can't find another job, My mom, on the contrary, was like, you need a job and you need any job you can get at this point. And I was stuck, but I'm like, I'm in my parents' house. Like, I need a job in order to get out of their house. And so that's where my head was at that time. So long story short, I did great on the interview, and I wound up getting the job. I found out like a month later. Surprisingly, my best friend from middle school that I haven't spoken to in years also got the same job. And like I said, I wasn't driving at the time. She lived around the corner from my house. So it was just the setup of that was just so crazy. We saw each other when we were going for our medical testings before the job, and we were like, oh my gosh, why are you here? And we found out we got the same job. We started the same day. It was at the same location. So thankfully, because I love my best friend, she picked me up and dropped me off home every day. She lived around the corner from my house, and she was just like, I'll take you to work and I'll take you home. And to this day, I appreciate her so much for that because that was the only way other than me, having to take public transportation to the job, which is nothing wrong with that, but it would have been so much out of my way, whatever. But so I just say that to say that the struggle after college is real. For some people, it's very real. And everybody has their own ups and downs after college, Mine might have been getting a job and struggling with depression. Somebody else's might have been being on a job and feeling and not being compensated at the level that they felt they should be, or being taken advantage of at the job. Everybody has their own struggles. Mine was depression and not finding a job. And so fast forward, because there's more struggles after college, okay? Even after you get a job. So debt. Debt came knocking on my door 6 months after I graduated, like, we here, where's our money? And I'm like, I don't have it. Like, what do you want? And I just, in the Black community, a lot of us aren't well educated on taking out loans and repayment of loans and things like that. I just only knew that a loan was money to go to college. And I knew it had to be paid back, but I didn't think about it too much. I was just thinking about, in the moment, I need to pay for college, and the loan is going to help me pay for college. Thank you for the loan. Thanks for the money. And so, not thinking about the aftermath of it, once they come back to get their money and they tell you even how much you owe them, it's like scary. It's scary, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, this loan is in my name, and I owe this money to you guys. Like, I have to pay this back. That's a lot. And when they tell you the amount you have to pay back monthly, then it's like still to this day, I gag every time that time of the month comes. But so that is, I just can't stress enough that anybody going to college or in college, apply for grants, apply for scholarships. I didn't do that either. I looked and I was like, kind of looking and then slacking looking at that too. And it is so essential. If you do not want loans, and if you do not want all this debt to your name after college, you have to apply for scholarships and grants. It is so important for you if that's not what you want. It will help you in the long run so much. You will appreciate it. You will appreciate having that knowledge, because I didn't have that knowledge. My parents didn't have that knowledge. My sister went to college before me, but at the same time, she went to a predominantly white, all-female school, and they did give her money in the beginning, so they didn't have to take out as much in a loan. Me, on the contrary, I had more money to take out for a loan, and it was just, we didn't know much about how to go about it. We didn't know anything. We didn't think about the repayment, and it is real. And so I can't say enough that if you can get any type of funding for school without taking a loan out, even if you can pay as you go, then I would say try to do that, because loans aren't fun to be pay back. And that on your credit is not fun as well. So I have notes also, guys, so I'm looking at my notes. So I would just say, guys, that, make sure that if you're still in college, prepare yourself to be set up after college with a job in your field, a job that you would like, not even a career. You want a career. You don't want a job that you can just, that's just, making time pass and things like that. You want a career, something you're set in, something that you can work for as long as you want to work for, and it will prepare you for whatever opportunities you want to go for next. You want to set yourself up for success, and preparation is key, which I wish I would have known. But now that I know that, although I'm beyond that point from college, I can say this to other people, and I hope that they hear me out and understand that it is essential and it's key, and I'm begging you, do it. It's important. So yeah, guys, so I just hope that this message or my personal story helps somebody, touch somebody. Maybe somebody was like, yep, me too. And maybe somebody didn't experience it, but I think it's just important to speak about it, because at one point I was embarrassed about it. I was embarrassed that I wasn't getting a job, and I was in a slump and depressed, and other people were actually succeeding in jobs in their fields and, thriving. And I was embarrassed to tell my side of the story, because I was like, well, is this only me? Am I the only one going through this? and I didn't want the people to judge me. So, you know, no judgment. We're human. We go through things like this. And I just hope that somebody can hear this and maybe change their path from seeing what I went through. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Stay tuned for the next part of my series. Have a good one. Bye.